Hey guys, welcome to Austin360 Studio Sessions, sponsored by Bud Light. I am your host, Amber Rebold, and we are in for a huge treat today. We have an incredible performer with us, but before I tell you who it is, I'm gonna go through the rules. If you're tuning in on Facebook Live, feel free to ask questions for our artist in the column below, because after she performs, I will be coming back asking her some of my questions and some of yours. So without further ado, this is Joy Williams.
Hey. Good morning. I am full up on breakfast tacos and really good coffee, so I'm glad to be back in Austin. And can't wait to spend these next few minutes with you guys. This first song is the very first song that we have released off of Front Porch, which is coming out soon, and it's called Canary. There's a shadow hanging heavy. There's a cold chill in my bones. It's a steep road and I am weary. It's a long, long way from home. But I will not shut my eyes. Oh, I will not fall silent. Canary in a mine. Oh, I will, honey, I will see. There's a shadow hanging heavy. There's a cold chill in my bones. Thank you. Thank you. Anthony, I like the shirt that you got on, by the way. Tell me about it.
Oh, this is us relating. We're relating.
We're relating to the locals.
This is my. I did used to live here for a few years.
Yep. This is Anthony Acosta on guitar, by the way.
Hi. Thank you.
Yes.
This is my Antone's 10th anniversary T-shirt.
Yes, that's right.
I was not there, nor was I alive, but
No.
Buddy Guy was there, and that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I'll take it. Well, this next song is the title track of what has become the record and is coming out in the spring, and I'm so excited to share it. And man, it's been a long time coming writing this record, but I wanted to go slow and steady, and did. And I remember telling co-writers that I was working with, if I can't play it on the front porch, I just don't feel like it's for me. And so one day, a really wonderful songwriter known as Liz Rose said, well, have you written a song called Front Porch? I said, no. She said, that'd probably be a good idea. And the whole feeling of this record that I wanted to bring across was just a feeling of being grounded and finding home and settling into who I am. And it's been a long time coming, but it feels really good. This feels like the sweetest season of my life. I have 2 beautiful kids, and I'm back out on the road, and it feels so good. And I think at the end of it, we all just want to feel like we belong and that we're seen for who we are and welcomed in that way. So that's why I wanted to write the whole record in general. It goes from here and there all over the place thematically, but it's got that through thread running through it, that no matter where you are, where you come from, you're welcome and you belong. This is called Front Porch. There are no wrong roads, and no window stays closed, and love is always sad when it fades, but glass is better stained anyways. If never you find what you're looking for, come on back to the front porch. Say my name through the screen door. Come on back to the front porch. Whatever you've done, it doesn't matter, 'cause darling, we're all a little splintered and battered, but the light is on. What you waiting for? Come on back, come on back to the front porch. We carved a story in these boards, watching life go back and forth. You take it all for granted, then you leave, and then it takes a while to realize what you need. If never you find what you're looking for, come on back to the front porch. Say my name through the screen door. Come on back to the front porch. Whatever you've done, it doesn't matter, 'cause darling, we're all a little splintered and battered, but the light is on. What you waiting for? Come on back, come on back. Well, I took the long way, looking for the shortcut, to find out that this place is made of the best stuff. If never you find what you're looking for, come on back to the front porch. Say my name through the screen door. Oh, come on back to the front porch. Whatever you've done, it doesn't matter, 'cause darling, we're all a little splintered and battered, but the light is on. What you waiting for? Come on back, oh, come on back, oh, come on back, come on back to the front porch. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Well, this next song is another song that we recently released, and it's called The Trouble with Wanting. And I wrote this song with one of my other really good songwriting buddies named Natalie Hemby. And we'd already written one song earlier that day, but we just thought, well, it was before I was pregnant with my daughter now, but we just poured ourselves some wine and talked, and we talked until like 2 in the morning out on the back porch, as it were. And we were just talking about life and these moments that we all have. We were trying to tap into, have you ever had a moment where you felt like, man, if only I ... And we talked about the greatest and quickest way to suffer is to want something other than you have. And I had just spoken recently with one of my best friends, and she's had an on again, off again for a while, and I'm sure we've all had seasons where we've had that. And I thought, well, we've all been there, so let's write about it. So this is called The Trouble with One. Wandering soul, wandering mind, wondering what's gone wrong with me, and trying not to try. Swayed by the wind, swayed by desire. Can't reach the moon up above, and I don't dare touch the fire. 'Cause the trouble with wanting is I want you. The trouble with wanting is I want you. The trouble with wanting is I want you, and I want you all the time. Always on my mind, always alone. You could be miles and miles away, but somehow you're close. If I can't have my cake, and I can't eat it too, well, I guess the sound of your voice and the ache, it will just have to do. 'Cause the trouble with wanting is I want you. The trouble with wanting is I want you. The trouble with wanting is I want you, and I want you all the time. If you never come back, if you never call, I'll say I'll understand when I don't at all. 'Cause the trouble with wanting is I want you. The trouble with wanting is I want you. The trouble with wanting is I want you, and I want you all the time. Oh, the trouble with wanting is I want you. The trouble with wanting is I want you. Oh, I see there and I see that line, and I want you all the time. Oh, Thank you. Well, I already introduced you Anthony DaCosta, who's been my right-hand dude since we started this whole trek. When I was beginning the process of making Front Porch, I was working with a friend of mine named Kenneth Pattengale, and he's in the duo The Milk Carton Kids. And Kenneth said, "Hey, I've got somebody I think it'd be really good for you to meet." And Anthony and I ended up rehearsing all of the songs that are on the record, plus some more, on my green velvet couch in my living room in Nashville for like 2 months. And when we went in the studio, it just felt so effortless. We had all the other musicianship just came in this really beautiful way. We recorded 15 songs in 5 days, and I was 3 months pregnant, which I don't recommend, but it actually turned out really great somehow. And then along the way, we met these beautiful musicians too. So I want to introduce to you. This is Sam Howard on the upright bass and vocals. And this is the beautiful Wilhelmina Frank Zerda on every instrument that you could possibly play. We're having so much fun being back out on the road, and it's just been an absolute pleasure. I didn't know that I could have this much fun touring, but they're showing me the way. And but there are some songs that when we do live shows, we incorporate new and we incorporate some old. So I thought before we leave you with this last one, this might be one that you're more familiar with from another musical era that I was in. And this one's called From This Valley.
Oh, the desert dreams of a river that will run down to the sea, like my heart longs for an ocean to wash down over me. Oh, won't you take me from this valley to that mountain high above? Oh, I will pray, pray, pray till I see your smiling face. I will pray, pray, pray to the one I love. Oh, the outcast dreams of acceptance just to find pure love's embrace, like an orphan longs for its mother. May you hold me in your grace. Oh, won't you take me from this valley to that mountain high above? Oh, I will pray, pray, pray till I see your smiling face. I will pray, pray, pray to the one I love. Oh, the cage bird dreams of a strong wind that will float beneath her wing, like a voice longs for a melody. Oh, Jesus, carry
I was like, I need to hug you.
There you go. Oh.
Joy, you are so aptly named. I feel like we all just have the good feels now.
Oh, good.
There were so many questions and comments from people watching on Facebook.
Oh, yeah?
And a lot of them closely coincided with questions I had. So I'm going to kind of pair them together.
Yeah, do it.
So Susie Winfield said, when did you discover you had a singing voice? And I was going to ask you that I know you were signed to a label at 17.
Yeah, really early.
So how long before getting signed did you know that's what you wanted to do?
Well, I mean, I grew up in a house. We didn't have a whole lot growing up. I was born in Michigan, and my dad and mom worked at this like retreat center, and so I was just like outside a ton, and singing was a way that we kind of filled our house when it felt kind of empty. And I loved doing that. My mom used to sing, and she taught me how to harmonize when I was about 3 or 4. She tells me, I don't
Naturally.
remember. Right. But yeah, and so I just sang in my room a ton, and then we moved to Northern California. To Santa Cruz, and I was at a school where there was like a mandatory choir, and my choir teacher like kind of picked me out and like forced me to do a choir solo, and it was like I was in 5th grade, and I was like, totally, like it just felt so good.
I like this.
I felt really shy as a kid, but for whatever reason, like I could stand up and sing, and it was like I felt my heart more deeply, and then I didn't think that I'd be singing for a living. I still sometimes I'm like, how am I getting to do this? But yeah, I mean, I was just going to school and like doing my thing, and then I would sing at the church that I went to, and it was actually through that I got discovered. And so the first few years of my music career, I was singing gospel music, and that's how I got my footing.
I think immense talent is why you get to do this.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I'm conjecturing.
I'll pay you later.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Okay, we can talk about it later.
Yeah, totally. Denominations of 50, I think is what you said.
Okay, well, seriously, you're airing out all my secrets. I also wanted to ask, Ryan Powers had asked, when is the new album coming out? And I had wanted to ask, what is the inspiration behind Front Porch? You touched on it a little bit,
Yeah.
but the album as a whole.
Yeah, album comes out next year, like early in the next year, but it's a surprise, you guys. I can't say it yet.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so it's coming. It's coming.
TBD.
Yes. And yeah, like I shared earlier, I mean, so much had happened, with the Civil Wars kind of imploding, and then my dad passing away from cancer in a relatively short amount of time, while also having had a new baby, and resting into toddler. There's just a lot going on in my life. So I made a solo record called Venus. And it was almost like, I mean, I moved from Nashville to LA. It was like I uprooted everything and just felt like I had to clear my mind. There was just so much going on. But you bring your stuff with you wherever you go. So I worked that out a lot in Venus. And then we kind of released an acoustic version of that record. And I realized, man, this is like really where my heart is. Because sonically, we'd gone into this really vast sort of outer space zone, which I'm really proud of. But then I just realized I love just singing on a front porch. And so I wanted the record to feel like that it really does kind of touch into what does it look like to fight for love? And what does it look like to move through loss? And what does it look like to feel fully human in a way? And embrace the scars and all the things that you've been through instead of pretending that they're not there. Yeah. So that's where Front Porch kind of came out of, and it's been really cool to see people connecting with it. Like we had the record's not even out, and it's just been really fun to see people getting really excited about it.
Yeah, and so you just mentioned people connecting with your music, and you also mentioned your kids. There were so many comments from moms or people who knew that you're a mom, a lot of questions about that.
Yeah.
Bianca Casal wanted to know how you balance music and motherhood, that you have an amazing voice. And then Julie Middleton, mentioned that she had multiple of your songs on her birth playlist because they had such positive energy.
Oh, that's rad.
And I got to meet your beautiful children before you came. They're so sweet. You once said that there was an energy that was very creative in having a baby.
Yeah.
And you have those 2 beautiful children. How do they influence your music?
A lot, actually. I mean, it's the word balance that got mentioned. I haven't found it. And if someone has, like, please give me a call and I'll pay you a lot of money to learn how to do it. But I just feel like it's the tension of it all somehow. Like, and when I had Miles, I was on the road. I mean, when I was pregnant with Miles, I was pregnant from the day I found out all the way up until like 10 days till he was born. And I remember like singing at the Grammys, like with my big belly, just being like, "Oh my gosh, my son's getting
You
to
had a guest
share
with
this."
you.
I
Yeah.
did. I had a +1 always, and then with Poppy, I don't know how it works. Somehow that creativity for me gets sparked, especially when I'm pregnant, and I get very sick when I'm pregnant, so it's an odd combo.
That is odd.
It's not the most fun, but I remember sitting in studio and I was so fatigued that I just sat on a stool the whole time and sang. But I remember the exact week that we started was the exact week that my daughter Poppy, her eardrums were starting to form. And I thought, what a great and beautiful way to connect and to introduce her to sound this way. So I think having kids makes me appreciate the little things a lot more, and it makes me work a lot, hopefully smarter, not just harder, but you do have to work hard, as we all know.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I mean, it's like a traveling family circus, and there's just a lot of under eye concealer happening right now. So
You look great, and
thank
they
you.
are
I'm
clearly
happy.
happy.
I'm really gonna have to pay you a lot at the end of this interview.
I just want to be your friend, okay? Let's just cut to the chase. I just want
well,
to be
that's
your friend.
free, so that works.
So you're on tour now,
Yeah.
obviously, since you're here with us.
Yeah.
Have you had any standout moments that really are sticking out for you?
Oh yeah. Every show, there's a different personality to every crowd. That's how it feels to me anyway. So every city that I go to, I feel like I'm having a different conversation with people about the music, whether we're using words or not. But the music itself is doing that. And every city that we've had, I've just been shocked that songs that aren't even out, people have found through like avenues like this, or and they're coming to shows and they're singing every word. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, it makes me so happy. And also there's a couple songs on the record. One of them is about my dad, and I noticed that if it's more like the boyfriends or like the dads or whoever it is, like that are like taking their families or their girlfriends or what have you to the show, that like there's been some tears coming from some dudes.
No, it was happening here.
It was. Oh.
I won't call anybody out. But
No,
because
because real men cry, I like to say. So, but it's been really cool to see people have actual like visceral responses to the music. That we're getting somewhere good,
You for sure are.
Yeah, thanks.
The other thing I want to point out is Carrie Hall said hi, watching from the UK, and
Oh, cool.
Owen O'Neill checked in from Bulgaria.
Whoa,
Yes, and
we're international.
right. Big things are happening right now for you and I. Maybe more so for me, let's be honest. But. They also mentioned that they probably weren't going to make it out to the show tonight, but I kind of want to tell everybody that if you don't already have a ticket, you're not making it either because you're sold out.
Yeah,
right?
sold
So
out.
normally I say, hey, go see Joy tonight, but you just got to see her here, and that's going to be it for you,
it's
right?
awesome. Yeah, and we'll come back. I love Austin way too much to like only visit this one time. So we will be circling around again.
Well, we love you too.
Thank
and
you.
thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for tuning in at home and coming into the audience. Thank you, Joy Williams,
Yeah,
and your
thanks for
amazing
having
band.
me.
And we will see you next time. Thanks, guys.
No way. It just